Hello fellow DIYers and Dollar Tree crafters. This is Elizabeth with Dandelion Soap. In today's project we are going to make a snow frame. You will need the following items. First, look for this particular frame at the Dollar Tree. This houses two 4x6s. It will have adequate space and large enough to accommodate. The next thing you will need, the Let It Snow sign. The Let It Snow sign is being presented on the signage, and you will need a fingernail file or a letter opener, and this will be slid underneath to remove your lettering. You're going to need your craft roll, and you also need some clear contact paper. It doesn't necessarily have to be the clear contact paper, and I'll tell you why. Because we are going to use the buffalo check in the background. We're going to remove this cardboard, and we are going to be replacing that with our buffalo check and our contact paper, and that will help us to place it in the back. It will be glued down. The flax snow will go in between the frame and the buffalo check. And then the craft paper is to seal off this outer space of the frame to keep our flax snow inside. Another thing you may want is some glitter stickers. You want to print off a vinyl stickers, or maybe you have a sheet of other stickers that are larger. This particular project was inspired. I seen it years ago. I had actually seen it in a store, and I wanted one. Thing that I wanted to do, because once I make this, I'll have it for years. I selected as my scene the little truck. This is on the Dollar Tree gift bags. You will get a 2-for-1 on this. I love that they've got it on the tailgate as well. So we're actually just going to cut out the amount that we need. So therefore you will need a ruler so that you can measure the inside perimeter of your frame and get your measurements, and that will help you to determine how much you will need to cut and how to center this. 4-Quarter Crafter, she actually did one of these last year. So if you wanted to, you could go over to her particular YouTube channel and look for the her DIY that is dated for December the 19th of 2018. All of my items, with the exception of the buffalo check paper, will be from Dollar Tree. So at this time, you've removed your letters. You will gut your frame and paint it, and I shall return. In further review, I meant to tell you, in order to allow for adequate space so that our flax snow will flow really well inside this frame, we're going to remove these metal tabs, because we're going to be gluing everything to this outer perimeter. So whenever you cut your picture out, as well as your buffalo check, using your contact paper, you want to overcompensate. So that means you want to come out here to the in between the inner part of the frame and the outer part. You want to be in this center, and that's where you want to make your measurements for your photo, your buffalo check, and your contact paper. That will be glued here. And then to seal it all in and to make sure that nothing can flow out of it, we'll be using the craft paper and lining the back. And so when we get all this together, you'll see what I'm talking about. At this point, other than painting your frame, you want to take, and whatever this size is, you want to allow an additional 1/4 of an inch all the way around the perimeter of your print that you select to put into your frame to make your snowing frame. Now I use my pliers to remove these tabs. It just makes it easier, and they slide right out. I mean, you just pull them out like pulling teeth, so to speak. And it makes it easier To make it easier to get your perimeters, I am really only focused on the truck. I'm going to be using my buffalo check as an outer border for my print. I want to lay my frame on here, and what I'm going to do to overcompensate, because I'm going to be using the buffalo check to actually surround it, and I will be taking my pencil and I'm going to actually trace on the outer perimeter of the frame that I need it to land in this area, and I want the buffalo check to be inside the frame. So basically use your frame to mark where you would need your buffalo check to attach to the outer side perimeters of your print. I will do the same thing over here. There's already a pencil line showing me where that frame is going to hit. So that is where I want my buffalo check to be, on the inner part on this side to the right of that line, so that it shows up inside the frame. And then the upper perimeters I will do the same. So now I've got my print centered with my buffalo check on the outskirts of it, as I spoke about before, and it is overlapping in the rear by slight. I have not painted my frame yet, simply because I needed to size up my print. But if you look closely, and no one's going to see this because this will be covered with the craft paper. In hindsight, I had stated to use contact paper, and you could use contact paper to buckle this down to the frame, but just to give me a little more security, I'm actually going to use craft paper. I'm going to glue this, and then I'm going to also use craft paper to line this back, just like framing any kind of professional photograph, because I want to make sure that that flax snow does not seep out at any point. And don't forget to make sure that you clean your glass really, really good and make it all good and shiny before you start gluing everything down, because on the glass on the outer part we'll be putting the Let It Snow along with the Now I decided to put Mod Podge on my picture before I start to frame it. And the reason why I do this is, if you look at it very closely, it has like a laminated effect to it. It's a very thin layer of Mod Podge. Just went over it real quick. It will kind of seal all this almost like it's a solid sheet to where it's laminated. You can feel the ridges, but that will prevent the flax from getting in between the pages by just Mod Podging it together. Now I've placed glue all the way around the frame, and I made sure I had a paper towel and wiped it off. Okay, now the photo is starting to take form and look really, really great. It hit the Christmas that was on the bag and clipped it out, and I really cut it really close and then just glued it on there. I've added the snowflakes, as you can see, all about. And now I'm actually debating on whether I want to use the Let It Snow on my frame. But at this point, I'm getting ready to put the flax snow in there, and just like I said, lining up my photograph with Scotch tape just to make sure everything's in place. And here we are, our shaking, snowing frame with our snow in it and our truck in the background and our Let It Snow. I hope you guys like it. All in all, it turned out really, really well, but I do see there are some areas of change that I would probably make. Just let it sit for a moment and give it a moment of thought. But overall, it is cute. There is snow that flows in the frame. It just goes to show that you can use a regular picture frame if you set it up right, and you can make your flake falling, snow globing frame, picture frame. It's all good and sealed off, and none of the snow's going to come out of it. So I hope you all enjoy this DIY. If you do, please give me a like, and if you haven't subscribed already, perhaps you will. This is Elizabeth with Dandelion Dandy Soap, signing off until next time. See you in the next video, next DIY.